Vikram, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
What brings you to Summit 2017?
Two or three fundamental changes are occurring in the industry. One is, of course, I'm speaking at the India Pavilion later this afternoon, but I wanted to learn more about where the industry is going. Like it aptly says, the World Future Energy Summit. So I wanted to learn a little bit about storage. I wanted to meet people. I wanted to meet how you can I wanted to understand which path is this industry going to take forward in the next 4 or 5 years. So those are the 2 or 3 objectives that I had while coming to this summit.
Mytrah Energy, 1.3 gig in the ground and another 700 megawatts in development. That's impressive in 6 years. How have you achieved that?
I think 2 or 3 reasons we did this. One, we always went into a country where the power price for renewable energy was already cheaper than coal or any other traditional forms. So we didn't have to, so it was a commercially viable sort of industry. Second is there was enough scale in the country, but nobody was tapping into it. So the first part of our journey, we tied up with a local partner as a turnkey developer, and we did about 300 megawatts using the turnkey model. And in the meantime, we have put wind measuring masts all over the country. And after the first 3 years, we have then started getting new technology into India, whether it's GE turbines or Gamesa turbines and Vestas, etc. And we used that to propel our scale. We did the first 4.5 years, we did like about 500 megawatts, and then the next 1 year we did 500, and this year we are doing 700. So we're following the classic, exponential curve model right now.
In terms of expansion, I'm sure you came up against people saying it couldn't be done.
Yeah.
How did you break through that?
I think simple math, simple Excel. So we showed people, and especially the bankers, that they have to treat this as any other source of power or energy that they have, right? I mean, typically bankers funded coal projects for 15 years or 18 years, but when we said wind, they said it has to be only 7 years, without any logic. So, the first part of our journey was to convince them that these assets are 30-year assets, and they have to look at these assets just the way they look at any other conventional, coal or hydro asset. So that was one aspect. The second aspect was to build a farm at a cost that becomes commercially viable. So we spent a lot of money to figure out how to reduce the construction times, how to source in volume, how to get the best data for wind, et cetera, et cetera. And we reduce cost at every level, whether it's the turbine cost, BOP cost, the financing cost, the increase in the tenor of the loans, and overall we're probably the lowest cost wind or solar power generator in the country, and that's and that's how we achieved what we have achieved.
She achieved without any subsidies?
0 subsidies.
Is this a first?
First in India for sure, but we have a few others like Renew and Greenco, which are very close to where we are.
So your midterm goal is 3 gigawatt. What's next?
We'll see. I think we don't have a set goal. We'll wait and watch where the industry is going. We'll do projects only if they're viable. We don't have goals that are unrealistic, right? We still own a majority of the company, so we have a much longer horizon. So the joke internally is let's wait for 50 years and figure out who has won the race, not 2 years or 3 years or 5 years. These things keep changing every year. So I think, but I think we're in exciting times in the industry right now. So I've seen, from what I see in this conference, the solar energy costs will continue to drop by somewhere between 5 to 10% every year on year. We expect a similar trend in wind power costs, and with storage coming in, that will add a lot of stability to the grid. So I think in about 7 to 10 years, we'll we'll probably see a lot more penetration of renewable energy into the grid than what's there today. So if you look around, you'll see there's Total that's getting into renewable energy, Dubai and Abu Dhabi encouraging electric cars. As someone said, the Stone Age didn't come to an end because there's lack of stones, right? It came to an end because of technological evolution. So I think we are at very, very exciting times, and I see a very, very bright future. I don't know what will happen in 5 or 10 years, but if you're taking a 20-year, 30-year horizon, we don't see any reason why all of the coal plants, all of the gas plants will be replaced with renewable energy. So, and you're talking about, I don't know, 1 trillion or 800,000 gigawatts of power that will get replaced with new sources of power over the next 20 or 30 years for sure. So I think that's the way we look at it. So we are not in a hurry to win bids and build projects. We will build only when the economic viability sort of sits in.
Vikram, that's inspiring. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you very much.